Hi all, I'm back with the second video. I probably won't do a video tomorrow as well, but I'll try and keep these as regular as possible. So, I chose this wine, the next wine I chose, if you want me to be honest. I chose this wine for the reason that I actually have leftover pork chop. So I wanted a wine that can be paired with the pork chop. So I don't want anything that's too overpowering. I don't want anything that's way too full-bodied. Pork chop being obviously a light meat. So yesterday I paired the Riesling with the pork chop, which was fantastic. And I actually already tried this with a little bit of the pork chop. Don't tell the wife. And it's actually a perfect pairing. I chose this because it's a Pinot Noir. So Pinot Noir is the grape. It's a light-skinned grape. Therefore, you get a relatively light wine. It's also light in color, usually quite aromatic. Pinot Noir is a pretty difficult grape to grow, so it makes it a bit of a delicate and maybe a bit of a princess in the wine world. It's not an easy grape to understand, but I think it's very underappreciated, especially in Malta. We like to boast of full-bodied, rich wines that we like, and sometimes the lighter wines would be more appropriate, such as this Pinot Noir that I chose today. So I chose a Bourgogne from Bouchard Pere. Bouchard Pere is the producer. This is actually one of the biggest, or one of the largest wine merchants in Burgundy. Now Burgundy is where Pinot Noir is mainly associated with, so Burgundy, especially in the Côte d'Or, they like to grow Pinot Noir. It is the perfect place to grow Pinot Noir, and also Chardonnay. So this particular Burgundy, Bourgogne, is an entry level. It's an appellation d'origine contrôlée. So basically, when I mean entry level, it shows it's entry level because it says Bourgogne on it. Now, Bourgogne refers to actually Burgundy, which means that it's a regional wine. So what I would understand is that Bouchard would purchase Pinot Noir grapes from pretty much anywhere around the Côte d'Or to make this wine. Once you start reducing the area where Bouchard purchases the grapes, the level of the wine increases. So this is an entry level because it says it's from the grapes are anywhere in Bourgogne. Once you go up in level, so if it's, for example, an Alox Corton, which would be an area within Burgundy, and it would say Alox Corton, then it would be an appellation wine. So it usually is of a little bit of a better quality, or a Bon would be exactly the same. And then you'd get to Premier Cru and Grand Cru. Anyway, what's interesting, or at least this is my opinion actually, so this is a 2017 vintage, and 2017 was actually a pretty decent year in Burgundy, but more important than the year is the producer. So if I had to choose a Burgundy wine, I prefer choosing, this again is totally my opinion, I prefer choosing a Burgundy wine from a good producer in a not so good year than a Burgundy wine from a not so good producer in a very good year. That's because usually the producer has a lot to do with the actual quality of the wine, especially in Burgundy. Maybe Bordeaux not so much. Maybe there is a bit of a difference over there. In Bordeaux, the vintage has a lot of say in Bordeaux. Burgundy, I would still choose the producer over this. But anyway, let's get to the drinking. So here I chose a Pinot Noir glass. As you can see, the shape of the glass is a little bit different. The color is actually a little bit brownier than I thought. 2017, it's only just a few years old, so it's still very young. Actually, I expected it to be a little bit lighter in color. So the age is starting to show already. It's very intense. Lovely fresh smells. So it's not that overpowering smell such as a Shiraz or a Cabernet. It's still very delicate, still very light. You get lots of nice red fruit, strawberry, cherry. So the fruit is crunchy. It's juicy. There's something very juicy about it. It's nice and refreshing. It's not hard on the mouth. It's not strong. The tannins are very light. It's got structure, but it's still very light. It doesn't have that drying taste in your mouth. So, which is probably the reason why I've chosen to pair it with pork. Could probably also pair it with fish and other light dishes. I think if we chill it a little bit, it can chill a little bit. So that's an okay temperature now. But if you chill it a bit, it would lighten the wine a little bit more. I wouldn't chill it to fridge temperature. I'd leave it maybe a little bit cooler than room temperature. So, for example, today, if you're outside on a picnic, perfect wine. Yeah, I think it's decent. I wouldn't leave it much longer, so I would drink it now. Leave it another year or two. But I think it's a wine that needs to be drunk young. And to be honest, being an entry-level wine, I would expect it to be drunk young. But it's actually very nice, enjoyable. Light. The aftertaste is nice. It's silky. It's not very long, so I mean, being an entry-level wine, I don't expect it to keep lingering on. But it's got some nice structure, some nice character to it. Beautiful fruity notes. I would imagine jumping into a basket of raspberries and cherries and strawberries. So that's what I get over here. Not much oak. Maybe if it is aged in oak, all it does is really add to a bit of structure to keep it give it a bit of power. Otherwise, yeah, fantastic. Cheers. Have a good Sunday.